Hello, this is Laverne Cox. I'm an actress, producer, and host of The Laverne Cox Show. Do you like your tea with lemon or honey? History-making Broadway performer Alex Newell.
When I sing, the Holy Ghost shows up. That's my ministry, and I know that well about me.
That's the tea, honey. Whoever it is, you can bet we get into it. My guest and I, we go there every single time. I can't help it. Listen to The Laverne Cox Show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
The Last Archive is a show about the history of truth in America. Each episode, we tell a story about people coming up with some new way of understanding the world. Histories of science, technology, democracy. This season, we've got stories on everything from mid-century songwriting machines to social network theory, and plenty of mad inventors.
Of course I go, oh my God.
Well, it's Dr. Frankenstein's monster, isn't it?
Listen to The Last Archive on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back, Jody. Welcome back to the country.
Thank you. I was on vacation. I went to Jamaica with the family. We went to a sandals resort, or excuse me, beaches resort. They're owned by the same company, but a beaches resort was like one of those family all-inclusive things. It was so much fun. Yeah. We had the best time.
Great.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad to be home. I'm pretty sure I smell like ocean because I think it
permeates everything.
Yeah, I smell like ocean water, and I'm not gonna lie, I love your face, but I'm a little sad that I'm not still staring out at the Caribbean Sea. But it was lovely.
There's worse things to smell like than the Caribbean Ocean.
That's true. It could be like the Santa Monica Bay. So yeah, I mean there's. But yeah, I am very glad to be back, and I'm super excited to be here and recording. And I'm okay. What is this news? What is you said
it's not news. It's not news.
But it's news to me because I don't know it. So
but it's not you. Okay, you had asked me before we started recording. You're like, "How was your week?" And I'm like, "It was great. Actually, it was terrible." But I'll save it because I wanted to discuss this with you on the pod.
Oh no!
No, it's not. It's not. It's not bad to you. It's just bad to me.
Well, then it's bad to me too because I'm your friend.
Oh,
yeah. Good bad news for you is not good news for me.
Well, there's a happy ending. But anyways, so
I like those.
The episode we're discussing today involves Jesse's missing pet turtle, right? Well, last week we lost our pet turtle. Like I swear, what are the odds? What are the odds that I lose our pet turtle?
Seriously? No.
The same week I'm prepping, and I sit down to watch this episode, and I'm like, "You're kidding me? There's a turtle in this episode?" Like it was very meta and weird.
That is really weird, and I feel like you're leaning into the commitment of this podcast a little too much, AB. You don't have to go misplacing your pets.
Well, and sadly, I hate to admit this.
There's an episode where Comet gets lost. Please don't send the dog off. No.
No.
Okay.
Holly will be safe.
Okay,
here,
good.
For sure.
Good.
We have secured all of the exit points of the house.
Yeah, now that the turtle's gone, what happened?
I have a history of this too. Like I've lost now 4 turtles in my lifetime. I had turtles as a kid because my family is allergic to fur. So I grew up with turtles, and I've lost like every single one.
You are cut off from turtle care or whatever. Are they fast?
They're fast. They are fast.
Yeah, they actually are surprisingly quick.
They're fast and aggressive. So I put them out in the backyard because it's sunny, it's humid. They love the weather right now.
Okay.
So I put them out in the backyard thinking they're fine. And then I check on them later and they're like gone. So they're fast and aggressive.
Wait. You're saying they. Have you lost more than one turtle currently?
Yeah, I lost the 3 turtles I had as a kid.
Well, right.
And then I lost the turtle that Felicity
No, I
now
thought
has.
you lost multiple turtles this go around. I thought you were like, we had 2 turtles and we lost both of them. They went on an adventure. It's going to be coming to a theater near you soon. Like
Turtles are taking over the world.
Yeah, starring Kevin Hart as one of the turtles.
No, we just lost one turtle.
Sorry.
I'll take it. I own it. I own it. I lost the turtle. Felicity, my daughter, was like, Haven't you learned by now to stop putting the turtles in the backyard? But I really didn't think the turtle would be able to turn sideways and get out through the fence, the gate thing.
Do we know that that's what happened? What if he repelled? What if? What if?
It's
what
a
I mean?
mystery.
What if he climbed the fence like upright? You never know. I'm just saying. You weren't there to see it.
They are very aggressive.
They are. He probably clamped his little beak onto something and just took those little turtle arms and went right up the wall.
Zip-lined.
Well, no, you know what it was, and this will come back later. He found a skateboard, and
if he had shown up on a skateboard, I'd be like, Jodie Sweetin, you're behind this.
If I walk in your back door and I say, and I push a turtle across your kitchen on a skateboard, and I just pop up and go, I love that amphibian, then you're gonna know that I actually have overcommitted to the podcast and am now stealing your pets and recreating Full House scenes.
We are slowly losing it, episode by episode.
Well, you're quickly losing it. Turtles, that is.
Yeah, I'm losing all turtles. But the happy ending is that he was in my neighbor's yard. So my next door neighbor brought him back with her grandchildren who found...
The turtle has returned.
They're like, we found this turtle.
I love that amphibian. No,
I love that amphibian. Like, he's very resourceful. He went straight to their yard and ate their bugs and worms and whatever else.
He's doing a service. Maybe that's what Bubba was doing in the episode of Full House, which we will be discussing, which has a turtle caper in it, which is just
only Full House would have
a turtle caper and a Motown music montage. So I really feel like I can't wait to get into this episode. As you can see, I have comments.
I cannot wait to hear your comments. So let's get into it, okay?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome back to How Rude, Tanneritos. I am one of your hosts, Andrea Barber.
And I am your other host, Jodie Sweetin.
Woohoo. Today we are
not a turtle, in fact. But
well, not that we know of. You moonlight as a turtle at night.
Well, yeah, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a whole other thing. It's fine.
Today we are discussing Season 1, Episode 4, which is titled The Return of Grandma. It aired on October 8th, 1987, and it goes a little something like this. A frantic search for Jesse's missing pet turtle leaves the Tanner home disheveled, just before an unexpected visit from the guy's mothers.
But wait, that feels a little incorrect because the house was disheveled prior to the turtle being missing, correct?
Yeah, okay. I noticed that too in this. I didn't write this synopsis,
okay,
but
just to be clear.
It was disheveled. The turtle is not responsible for the
I just don't want turtles getting blamed for things that they're not a part of. It's unfortunate. It happens all the time.
We are turtle activists now. You just wait. We are just saving turtles across the world.
Yep. Here we go. So the return of Grandma sounds a little threatening. Just saying. The return of Grandma, right? I guess it's supposed to.
It is. The guys are threatened because they,
I'll let you
have to keep up appearances.
I'm sorry.
Let's get into it.
Shut up.
This was directed by Joel Zwick. It was written by Jeff Franklin and Russell Marcus. And we have several guest stars, all of the mothers. We have Rhoda Gimignani. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. She plays Jesse's mom, Irene Cochran. This is her only appearance in Full House because the role was later played by a different actress, Yvonne Wilder.
Yep. That's right.
And also a guest starring Alice Herson as Claire Tanner. She's back. She was in the pilot. We're very happy that she's back. And Beverly Sanders is Joey's mom, Mindy Gladstone. This is her only appearance on Full House. And one of my favorite guest stars of all time, Mary Pat Gleason as Jennifer Siansky, who is a total legend. She's a total character actor.
Yep.
She's been in all of the shows, like every single one.
When I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, that's
right.
I literally couldn't even name the thing because it was like, I just had all these pictures flashing in my head of times that I've seen her on stuff. And I was like, I totally know her face. Yeah. Amazing character actor. She's fantastic.
She's so recognizable. She usually plays a nurse or a waitress.
Yeah.
And she has been in Grey's Anatomy, Step by Step, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Saved by the Bell, Sister, Sister, Friends, Blossom, ER, Night Court, Who's the Boss, Troop Beverly Hills, Scandal, Desperate Housewives, 13 Going on 30, Sex and the City, and Defending Your Life.
Hold on.
That's not even all of it. That's just highlights.
Wait. Did you rehearse that? Because that was an excellent read. I have to say that was a really great and well done recitation of her, just a small portion of her credits.
Just a smattering. Well, I had practiced last week reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in the Back to School episode,
right,
at rapid fire pace. So
I will say though, I thought that you were going to say that Bubba the Amphibian was your favorite guest star ever, but.
Oh, well,
but this makes more sense. This definitely makes more sense.
This makes a lot of sense. And very sad to report that Mary Pat Gleason passed away in 2020. So rest in peace. We love her, and we will always remember her as this wonderful surprise character at the end of this episode.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, totally great. All right. We open the episode in the living room. Joey enters carrying a variety of cooking pots, and he proclaims cereal, cartoons, and pajamas. This is why God created Saturday.
And there's an everywhere you look moment right off the top.
Oh, what's that?
Joey and the mannequin are in matching pajamas.
The streak continues.
The streak continues. Oh, there's outfit changes for the mannequin in this episode. Just stay tuned. Everywhere
I love that the mannequin's wearing the same shorts, not just the same shirt, but he's wearing the same shorts.
Joey invests a lot in his and his mannequin's wardrobe. So anyway, that was the first everywhere you look moment. I was very excited and shocked that they were wearing matching pajamas. Anyway,
I love Joey's commitment to this bit. It's awesome. So DJ wants to watch MTV. Stephanie wants to watch Bugs Bunny. And Joey's like, that's kids stuff. We need to watch Yogi Bear. There's a debate on who's better, Bugs Bunny or Yogi Bear. So Joey does an Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam impression. Very funny.
It's much an argument amongst Joey's own self, really, in various character voices, which I always loved as a kid. I would sit there giggling at Dave every time he did those voices.
Aww.
It was so fun.
He's just a big kid at heart.
For sure.
That guy. Mm-hmm. Danny comes downstairs carrying a laundry basket, and the living room is covered in laundry. It is such a mess. There are so many jeans, like wrapped around the banister of the stairway. Like it's on top of the TV.
Well, it's San Francisco. You know, shorts are not a big thing. A lot of jean wear, a lot of, all year round long pants, I think is what's happening. But I will say that the house very much reminded me of what my children do to their rooms. And the unexplained jeans wrapped around things like lamps or fans or just hanging out of all manner of drawers. So, yeah, I was like, okay. Originally, I was like, there's no way someone would ever do that to a room. But now, as a parent of people who do that to rooms, I completely see that as being truthful.
Oh, yeah. Once you have teenagers, like you'll find clothes in every possible and weird place in your
Joey
house.
And Jesse and Danny, it seems, are basically teenagers, so this all makes sense. Yeah,
that tracks. It does. So Danny clocks that they are eating cereal out of the pots with wooden spoons and says, Joey, meet me in the kitchen. Were you actually eating cereal in those pots?
Absolutely.
You were.
I was thrilled. I love cereal. I basically existed on cereal and yogurt as a child. And so I was like, yes, I get to, eat in a scene and cereal out of a pot like a little animal in there. Just thrilled. Yeah. I was 5 years old.
Did you have milk in the pot, or were you eating dry cereal?
It was probably I don't remember.
Dry. Do they trust a 5-year-old with cereal and milk and not to spill it on your wardrobe?
Yeah, right. And also they would have been very heavy if they would have had milk in them. So
that's true. That's true.
You know what? I was 5. There may not have been cereal. I could have been wrong. I could be wrong and just remember another eating scene, but I'm pretty sure that there was cereal in it. I don't remember what kind. Most likely oat boats.
Oh, oat boats. Oh. Oh, wow. Can't wait till we get to that episode. So Joey begrudgingly follows Danny to the kitchen, which is also a filthy mess, overflowing with dishes. Danny exclaims, it's howdy dirty time, and then tells Joey, wait, I thought it was your week to do the dishes. And Joey says, well, I'm just waiting for the dishwasher to be full, as we see an extremely overpacked dishwasher in the foreground. Joey adds one more wooden spoon to the dishwasher and states, there, now we won't be wasting water. That is my kids do this all the time. Fit in as many utensils as possible.
I'd actually be thrilled with them placing the utensils into the dishwasher. So, yeah, but yeah, it's either overly full and you're like, nothing's actually going to get clean, or there's nothing in the dishwasher at all. So I deeply felt the filth of the house.
It's so relatable.
Personal. Yeah, very relatable. And with all those people in that house, my God.
Yeah. It's a lot of mouths to feed, so there's a lot of dishes.
Lot of dishes, a lot of laundry. A lot of things happening.
Jesse enters the room from the downstairs garage saying, "Oh, what a night." And I'm thinking, here we go again.
Right.
Like, where is this story leading to?
Jesse
Why does he always have like a story?
Man.
He's wearing his signature leather jacket and carrying his helmet and a backpack. And Danny says, "Jesse, I thought you were going to do the laundry." And Jesse says, "Well, I did. I did my own." Ha. So Jesse now tells a story about the previous night as he was leaving a gig in Chinatown, a sweet and sour 16th birthday party.
I was
can't.
like, oh boy.
Like, I don't even want to comment on it. It's so bad.
Right. Yeah.
Terrible. We'll just
Just
move on. Move on quickly.
Move on quickly. Because guess what's next?
Oh, there's more.
Turtles and bags.
There's more.
Oh, there's more.
Jesse describes how, as he was stopped at a stoplight, he was prevented from a near-miss accident with a street cleaning truck because of something wedged under his motorcycle. Jesse introduces the dude who saved my life and pulls a tortoise out of his backpack. Bubba the turtle. Aww. And he's huge.
He is very large. And I don't know if you remember this. It became a running joke that we still to this day say. But Joel was yelling because the guys were screwing around about something, and Joel was yelling because that was just how Joel was, and and he was like, "We've got turtles in bags. We've got to go. We've got to shoot. We've got turtles in bags." And literally to this day, Bob and Dave and John will just randomly be like, "I've got turtles in bags," like, and just stupidly do it. So I forgot that this episode was that until I see the bag on the table, and I'm not even kidding you. I'm watching the episode, and I yell out, "We've got turtles in bags!"
That is amazing.
In my office watching it, I was so thrilled. Turtles and bags.
I never put two and two together until just now when you said that. Turtles and bags. This is where it came from.
This is where it came from. I mean, you weren't in this episode.
I wasn't in this episode.
So you wouldn't have had that point
I wasn't
of reference.
there for the joke.
Joel was yelling, "We've got turtles and bags, and we have to go," and that's just what stuck.
I can absolutely picture him and the intonation of his voice.
You can hear it.
"We got turtles in bags." Right.
But very loudly and animated, and Bob and Dave just going like, "Oh my God, that's it.
That's so great. Wow. Okay, what an entrance for Bubba the turtle.
Right?
Jesse exclaims,
Is he a turtle or a tortoise, though? Because those are different.
Well, I feel like, I should be a turtle expert having lost 4 turtles now.
Right.
I feel like it's a tortoise because of its size.
Okay.
But he's referred to as a turtle throughout the episode,
it's
so
easier.
we can refer to him as a turtle.
Turtle's fine.
But Jesse says, "I love this amphibian," which is repeated throughout the episode. So, like, Jesse has no clue what type of animal this is. He calls it an amphibian.
But a turtle is technically an amphibian, isn't it?
No, it's a reptile.
But a tortoise is not.
Oh, is that the difference?
I don't know. That's a whole other pod. That's my zoology podcast, which I'll be releasing on Thursday. No, I don't know. We've got turtles in bags. We got to get to the rest.
We
of
got
the
turtles
episode.
in bags. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they're amphibians or whatever. So Danny hits him with a zinger and says, "You just hate coming home alone, don't you?" Which, this marks maybe the first time that Jesse has told a story that doesn't end with him getting laid. So, hallelujah. It ends with turtles and bags.
Yeah. It ends, that's better, in my opinion.
I love this.
Amphibian.
So DJ turtle, reptile, whatever it is. DJ calls from off stage, "Where are you?" And Danny and Joey quickly hide Bubba under a pot so the girls won't get attached to the turtle as a pet. Act casual, they say. The girls enter the kitchen and the pot moves and slides across the counter.
Not at all being pulled by a string, obviously, that you don't see off camera. Yeah.
How did they do this trick?
Well, you don't see half the pot because there's probably like a string tied to it and our prop master or someone pulling it, across it. Yeah, because you couldn't actually train a turtle to do that, nor would it probably be a good idea because it would go sailing right off the counter. But yeah. No, it was not. No turtles, amphibians, reptiles, tortoises were harmed in the making of this. It was
good.
It was just being pulled along by a string, which is why you don't see the front of it.
Phew. I was worried for a minute. I got nervous about the
turtle.
I
did too. And I was like, wait. Oh no, we didn't do that.
Good. Phew. All right, so Bubba is safe. So the guys try to convince the girls that this moving pot is just their dinner. It's roast beef. And GJ lifts the pot and discovers Bubba. Stephanie says, "Roast beef comes from turtles?" Which is just, I just love you so much, Jodie Sweetin. Jesse comes over to reclaim his turtle, and Steph asks if they can keep him, and DJ promises that they will take care of him. As they exit, Stephanie casually announces that Grandma is coming to visit. Danny is shocked and says, well, why didn't you mention this earlier? Stephanie replies, nobody asked me.
I think they were trying to make "nobody asked me" the catchphrase.
Yes, I agree. This is several times we've heard this.
Because How Rude has not been really established yet. And this was "Nobody Asked Me" was, I think, the precursor to that. And it just wasn't, it's too many words. You need a two-word catchphrase. Yeah,
that's true. You can't use it in enough. They had to keep fabricating instances to use "nobody asked me." So, yeah.
Nobody asked me.
But I do like it. It's a great delivery.
It's hilarious.
It never gets
it's
old
funny
to
and
me.
and very much a kid thing. Like, well, nobody directly asked me this information, so why would I offer it up and be helpful?
I love it. Danny says, what time is Grandma arriving? And Joey says 5:12, sugar hips. And I see you cracking up. I saw you cracking up you're sitting on the counter. And you're just laughing. And I don't know if that was scripted or if you're just laughing at Dave.
No. I was supposed to be in character and like not pay. But I just couldn't help it. Dave and Bob were always so funny. And I'm sure right before the cameras rolled, they were goofing around and being ridiculous. And so, it's very hard for a 5-year-old to go from like, it's hard for a 35-year-old to go from screwing around to then being serious. So, I definitely caught myself laughing a few times. And I feel like at one point in this episode, I also looked like directly at the camera and said my line. So I don't know what was happening there, but I was like, what are you doing, child? Yeah.
Well, nobody cares. Everyone loves you as long as you're delivering these zingers and catchphrases. Yeah. You're acing this role. So Danny says, Joey, why didn't you say something earlier? And Joey replies, nobody asked me. He's catching on to this catchphrase.
It's true. One thing I remembered, though, in this episode, do you remember going up the stairs in that kitchen when you would exit the set? And remember going up the stairs, and in the 80s, the lights were these huge, giant, hot things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a light up there, and there was also a cue light. There was a little red light that was the cue light. And I remember if you had to go up there in the beginning of a scene, you were like, oh my God, I'm going to roast. You would be up there and just sitting in front of the sun, basically stuck up there for the rest of a scene in that little cubby that was, the upstairs, because obviously it's a set and the upstairs and the downstairs don't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it's a tight space.
But I had a vivid memory of heading up those stairs and being like, oh, it's so hot up here.
I remember those hot lights, and when a bug it would sizzle, and you'd see,
and you'd see, you were like, oh,
the smoke,
that poor guy,
yeah. No, it was, that's a tiny, tiny space, and it's whenever you're stuck up there with Dave, never a good thing, because he will just let it rip, let a fart
all
rip
the time in front of a hot light in a small space. Let me tell you.
There's nothing worse
than
farts
supposed
in a
to
hot
be
space.
5'9", and I'm only 5'5". No.
Stunted growth.
They've always
Stunted
said
by a
that.
fart.
Stunted growth, because I was just right at that level. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. You were butt level with him.
Yeah, it was terrible. Really.
Wow.
But anyway.
That explains a lot.
Explains so much. But yes, I do. I remember it was one of those vivid memories of a space where you're like, oh, yeah. I remember how hot it was up there and having to watch for the little red light when it was your cue.
Yes, the cue light, like you mentioned, it's the red light, and when it flashes, an AD off stage will flash it when it's time for your entrance.
Yep.
That's how actors know.
Yeah.
We're basically told what to do.
Although now it's usually there's another AD up there telling you sometimes, or you just listen. We didn't have lights on Fuller, did we? No,
they put one up. They put one up there, but when you can't hear, because sometimes you can't hear the actors in
that's
the
true,
set.
You can't hear it.
So if you can't hear it, they'll put a cue
Maybe
light
I just
up there.
never paid attention to it, and that's why I don't remember it. Okay.
Yeah, any scenario will track. So Danny is in panic mode now. He says, all my life, someone has taken care of me. First my mom, then wife Pamela, and he wants to prove to his mom and to himself that he can take care of his family by himself, just him.
Danny.
Yeah, Danny.
This moment, I was like,
yeah.
It was one of those very 80s moments where you're like, oh, right, of course, because, adult men don't take care of themselves. I was like, Danny, you went from mom to Pamela, and now you have to do laundry. Now
he has to step up.
Now he has to step up. So while the sentiment, I was like, oh, boy, it definitely sets up the thing that Danny really doesn't know what he's doing, which when we get to later episodes and Clipboard of Fun and all of this kind of stuff, it really shows he has taken control. So anyway.
Definitely.
Mom to Pam,
and now to...
Doesn't even know not to wear the pajamas to the market.
Right. Oh, yeah. The three men decide to divide and conquer the chores until they realize they're all out of cleaning products. So they decide to go shopping. Danny starts to head out the door wearing his pajamas before Jesse stops him. So Joey ends the scene by telling Jesse, you know what? He may need his mother. Danny's clearly panicked.
It's a very I feel pre-Danny Tanner moment, because it's a very early moment in his character development, because can we imagine a world in any later seasons where Danny Tanner would not have cleaning supplies fully stocked?
Right?
You know what I mean?
This is the origin.
This is the origin of Danny's cleanliness.
Crazy cleaning.
Yeah,
personality.
I think this is the origin story of that. So it's this episode where Danny really is like, I'm gonna be this person now, and he makes friends with his dustbuster.
Yeah, his new best friend.
His new best friend, yes, and Bubba.
Oh, Bubba. We've got turtles in bags.
We've got turtles in bags.
Okay, we are now in the living room, and if possible, the living room looks worse than before, with clothes still hanging on every possible surface, the staircase, the television, the piano, even.
But the mannequin has been changed.
Okay, I didn't write this down. So the mannequin has changed?
You look. Yes.
Wow.
We enter this scene, which is not, I don't think, long after. Everyone's, now dressed or whatever. But yeah, the mannequin has also changed clothes with Joey out of his pajamas. Which, to me, is saying that Joey is changing a mannequin, but not picking up after himself. And I have to question his priorities in this.
Wow.
Also, where is he keeping all of him and the mannequin's clothes in that alcove?
And is he just changing, there's no privacy? There's no privacy curtain? There's no doors? Is he just changing?
Well, he's probably going to the bathroom that's around the corner there. Because remember that first little alcove right between before it got, the Tanners redid their house in Fuller. Mm-hmm. That was the bathroom. So maybe he's in there.
That used to be a bathroom.
Yeah.
That used to lead right to the crafty.
Yeah.
To our craft service.
Yes. There was not actually a bathroom that led to craft service. It was just an arch in the wall that that you walked behind. And much like the fake stairs, it was not real.
No, if we had to walk through a bathroom every time,
there'd be confusion about walking. Right, people walking to the bathroom to get to our craft service. Which craft services, for those that don't know, is basically the food station and the gathering spot for cast and crew backstage.
Yeah, it's definitely the water cooler where everyone gathers and talks.
Yeah. I mean, where's the mannequin changing though? Does he get privacy? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, I have so many questions now about the accuracy of the mannequin. Okay, never mind. We won't go there.
Yeah. But like I said, there are mannequin outfit changes in this, which is impressive.
I'm here for it. I love it. Joey's watching TV as Danny enters holding Michelle and gives a countdown until Grandma arrives. So the family is busily packing all of the baby things for Michelle. Diapers, baby clothes, bottles, apple juice, biter biscuits, and a crib blaster for music.
I thought I said spider biscuits, by the way. I was like, what is I was like, spider biscuits, and I was like, spider biscuit? What the hell is a spider? Oh, biter biscuits. Right. And apple juice in a bottle?
Yeah.
Very 80s. Very 80s.
Very 80s.
Terrible teeth.
Well, and also, aren't they just going to the supermarket? Why does Michelle need so much stuff?
Because apparently Danny's never left the house with the baby before. So
and it's obvious.
And it's very obvious that they need to bring everything.
Everything under the sun.
Except.
So Danny says, what?
I said except.
Oh, well, we're getting there. Danny says, let's move out. Everyone exits, including Stephanie, who carries the giant panda named Mr. Pandy, which is so cute how you're struggling with the size of it, but you somehow make it through the front door.
Right?
That thing's bigger than you were. It's fantastic.
That was what was crazy. I was looking at just the size difference, and I was like, I was the size of a small panda bear. Medium panda bear, really. But yeah.
So cute. So they all exit the front door, but half a beat later, Danny re-enters the living room because they forgot one huge thing. Michelle, who's still in the little pack and play, the baby. Which leads me to, did you hear the news? I just heard this morning, that Ashley Olsen had a baby.
I did. Oh,
that that blows my mind.
The baby had a baby.
The baby had a baby.
And I'm sorry. I know she's not a baby. She's a 37-year-old woman. I realize that. But yeah, it is. It's it's like when the youngest member of your family has a kid. All of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
I'm so
but yeah,
happy for her.
congratulations, Ashley and her husband. I'm just really, really happy on the birth of their little baby boy Otto. I can't wait to see. I'm sure that they will keep it very private,
For sure,
as
of
they
course.
do. But I just want to wish them well and congratulations and
Yes.
welcome to motherhood.
The Full
It's
House family is
fun.
so happy for them. So happy.
Yes, and I hope when they go out to the grocery store that they don't bring a giant panda instead of their child. I hope that they've learned some lessons from the Tanner household and that doesn't happen.
Yes, and no bottles of apple juice and biter biscuits.
No, yeah, I do. Yeah, Ashley, no apple juice in bottles. It's very bad for baby's teeth. And yeah, sorry about that.
I'm sure that Ashley is going to be much better prepared for motherhood than Danny, Jesse, and Joey were.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. I think that's a pretty low bar. So I think she's going to do just fine.
I love it. So Danny leaves again with Michelle, but re-enters one more time, stating, "How many times have I told you to tinkle before we leave the house?" We fully expect to see a child walk through the door, but no, it's Joey who walks through the door with a shamed face.
Sort of a larger child, really, is
A larger child. That's definitely accurate.
Hello and welcome to Bad Manners. This is the podcast that takes you inside Britain's stately homes and tells all the tales the guidebooks don't. My name is Tom Horton and I'll be your host. Britain is riddled with big houses, from crumbling castles, massive mansions, and stately piles bigger than Buckingham Palace. As a comedian, I'm not really bothered about the facts and figures, I just want the juicy stuff. So I'm on a mission to find out the frightening, filthy, and downright jaw-dropping stories of these stately homes and the people in them. This podcast ventures deep inside some of Britain's most incredible and outrageous buildings to spill the tea on the scandalous, scary, shocking, and hilarious tales. So if you want to get historically horrid, royally raucous, and Downton dirty, look no further. Listen to Bad Manners on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, we know there are a ton of podcasts out there. Well, we have one we would love for you to check out. It is called the Pen Pals Podcast with Daniel Van Kirk and Rory Scovel. We are both stand-up comedians, we're actors, we're writers, but now, most of all, we are your pen pals.
Every single episode, we get 2 letters that we read from our listeners, our new pen pals. It can be about anything going on in their life, and sometimes we're also joined by guests like Will Ferrell.
I'm going to bring you up in front of the group, and I'm going to punch you as hard as I can in the stomach.
Rose Byrne.
This is West Hollywood. We keep it clean.
Judd Apatow.
If you use like Beats by Dre, is that considered handyman work?
Conan O'Brien.
I'm just showing you that my mind is quick, if not that funny.
And Mandy Moore.
We're all crossing the line together.
Listen to the Pen Pals Podcast on Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sincerely, your new pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk
and Rory Scovel.
So a little bit later that day, we're in the kitchen, and the 3 guys are passing groceries upstairs from the garage, assembly line style. DJ takes Michelle, and Stephanie walks through, still dragging Mr. Pandy, exclaiming, "I hate this thing." Wow, what a turn. Like just in the matter of like an hour and a half, you now hate it.
Well, that's what happens. You let your kids take their favorite toy somewhere, and then by the end of it, they're like, I hate this thing. I have to drag it around. Yeah. Or you wind up dragging it around. Let's be real. That panda was in the cart taking up all the space.
For sure. Danny says, only 5 hours until my mom is here. The guys decide they'll each tackle a different room to divide and conquer before Grandma arrives. They quickly argue over who is going to tackle the toilets, which this is a carryover from last episode where, it's like, how many bathrooms are in this house?
Apparently only one.
We think two, one?
Two,
There's one
upstairs, one downstairs. Well, and maybe one in Danny's room?
I think Danny has to have.
Yeah, there is. Danny has one in his room because don't we accidentally? No, I don't know. Anyway,
we don't know. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's changing ever.
Like the backyard.
Like the backyard. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone exits to the living room where the girls are helping Michelle ride the turtle, and Stephanie is coaxing the turtle by dangling a full carrot.
It's that same carrot that Joey
carrot.
pulled out of his pocket in the second episode.
For the teething
Michelle.
Michelle.
We keep that carrot with the little green parts on it and everything. Just plucked right from our garden in the backyard.
The the carrot's like its own character at this point. Give it a
I'm
credit.
sure it'll come back. But I feel like you can't put children on the backs of turtles anymore in shows. I feel like that's probably something you can't do. Like this was one of those moments.
It's not good for the turtle, or it's not good for the baby.
I mean, I'm gonna go with both. I'm gonna say that maybe that's just one of those things. Add it to the list of things you can no longer do with children and turtles on television. So, yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds much safer to just keep the turtles safe. Let's not put anything on the backs of turtles.
Right. We've faux put him in a pot. We've now got him with a saddle on. Yeah, it's poor Bubba.
The poor turtle.
He ran away.
Yeah. So DJ takes Michelle upstairs and Jesse puts Bubba in the playpen. The family sits down to watch Yogi Bear just until he steals a picnic basket, which is in approximately 3 seconds. Now Grandma enters the scene and she says, Hi. She is appalled at the state of this messy house. She looks in the playpen and gasps, my granddaughter is a turtle. And Joey replies, Michelle needs you more now than ever. Jesse introduces Claire to Bubba. And Danny asks, Why, Mom? Why are you 5 hours early? You weren't supposed to be here till 5:12. And Claire replies, try 12:05. Joey, who's clearly at fault for getting the arrival time wrong, claims, my name is Joey Gladstone and I am time dyslexic. All right, that tracks too.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly done that before.
True.
Also, in another Everywhere You Look moment in this scene, there's a lot in this episode. Behind Grandma is a picture of Pam and Danny on the mantle. You see Pam's face, her like blonde hair. It's kind of blocked out a little bit by a mug, but it's one of the first times that you clearly see the picture of Pam on the mantle in the background there, as well as a picture of me naked in a towel as a child.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember meeting this actress or whoever they hired to be this Pamela?
Oh, gosh. Vaguely.
Because she was never on the show,
She's never on the show, but there are, if you look in the background on the mantle, there is a picture of Danny and Pam, as well as pictures of the whole Tanner family that are sitting on the couch on the mantle there with pictures of the whole family. So kind of cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I stole a picture from the mantle the last day we did Fuller House, and it's right.
Right
here.
Yes, that's right.
It's the 3 she-wolves.
The 3, yes. That's right.
Straight
that
from the Tanner House mantle.
Love it.
Yeah. So you're always here.
Yay.
Close to me, Jody.
Oh, I'm everywhere you look.
I love that. I love these everywhere you look moments. Grandma sends the girls upstairs with Bubba so they can clean their rooms, and Jesse and Joey suggest that Claire cleans the house because she's so good at it, and she can make dinner for them too.
I was ready. I was like, you boys.
Yeah, come on, guys. That's not cool.
That was, I was like, wow. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
I was like, 1987. That's definitely what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Poor
No,
Claire.
very clear gender roles here. It
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
just like, come on, guys,
sure.
get it together.
And also, there's a Chucky doll on the couch. I don't know if you noticed in the foreground. It's
I
kinda creepy.
did notice it.
Yeah.
Do you think that was like the baby stand-in, the fake baby stand-in for Michelle, and it just got left there?
No, I think it was deliberately placed as like a prop, as a whatever, because those were big. They were the my buddy, whatever dolls, and then they became like sort of like Chucky dolls, and were
Chucky.
terrifying. Yeah,
so creepy. Yeah, so creepy.
I feel like Full House could have gone in a really totally other direction if we would have just focused on that doll, and been like, and then. Right, and Full House becomes, I don't know.
It would have gotten dark.
Yeah, for sure.
So a few hours later, Jesse and Joey return to the house, which is still in disarray. Jesse says to Danny, "Your mom has lost her touch." Danny declares that his mom wants the guys to clean up their own mess, and Jesse accuses Danny of being mommy whipped. Come on,
Again.
Jesse.
Right.
So now Claire enters the room, followed by two other women. Jesse and Joey's moms, Irene and Mindy. I love this so much.
Loved this because it was so great to watch the other moms walk in the room and be so specific to who their kids were. Like Jesse and Irene looked at, you know what I mean? Like they had almost the same hair.
Right.
And then, and Mindy and Joey basically had matching shirts.
It's so great. You can tell instantly whose mom goes with whose character because of just what they're wearing. Yeah.
It was really funny.
Great. Definitely hats off to the wardrobe department for that.
Yeah.
Claire says, "I thought that the moms would be very interested to see how you boys keep house." Irene tells Jesse to tuck in his shirt. There's a major continuity error here. I don't know if you caught it, where John's shirt goes from tucked to untucked to tucked to untucked within a matter of seconds. So I was like, all right, it's one of those things. That's all right. Continuity was never our strong suit. That's all right. Irene tells a story about a young 8-year-old Jesse who loved to help her iron. She says, "To this day, he's the only one I trust with my chiffon." And she is the real estate agent in the original Ghostbusters. who
Yes,
shows
she
them the
is.
fire station.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Do you remember the scene? They come in and I remember her because Ghostbusters was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So when she was on the episode, I was like, oh, I remember being very excited that it was the lady from Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Joey says, "Mom, let's show them the Hoover." Mindy grabs Joey's legs and hoovers Joey with his hands and roller skates while humming a vacuum noise. This is great. Like, the apple does not fall far from the tree.
But not at all. And they just really so wonderfully used Dave's talent of voiceovers and noises. And I mean, he really, I forgot all of the stuff that he voiced and did in each episode, and they really just leaned into that as his strength. It was very funny. And as a kid, I definitely enjoyed it.
It's so fun. You're just like, what can't this guy do? Like, he can do every voice, noise.
He's a human vacuum machine.
He can be an inanimate object. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that guy. The moms decide that one of them needs to be there at all times to supervise. So they develop a schedule between the three of them. But Danny has a different proposition. If the guys can get the house in order in the next few hours, the moms won't have to move in and run their lives. So Danny sends them shopping for a few hours so that the men can clean up and prove themselves. They all do a hands in and say, "Deal."
Is this where they said, or is that at the end? The and break moment? Because there's
No, that's this moment. I think they do two of them.
They do two of them because that was such a moment that was what we all did backstage.
Oh, yeah, before every live audience show.
Our intros, and I think even during Fuller, we recorded some and maybe posted them up there. But yeah, we'd all do our weird little thing and stand in a circle and yell and just get all the jitters and whatever out. And then we'd be like, and break.
And break.
Yeah. So
I think John just posted a video recently that has the huddle moment.
Yeah.
And Dave is yelling something inappropriate, no doubt.
Right. But
And
it
it's
was
just like,
we did that little huddle, and so that and break moment, I was like, "Aw."
Oh, I love that. That's such sweet memories. And I have the video from Fuller House of us doing.
Yeah. And John definitely has posted one of the original show and us doing our thing.
I love it. I love those moments. So we cut to the upstairs hallway, and the men are carrying buckets, brooms, and other cleaning supplies. To delay the inevitable cleaning of the dreaded bathroom, the men decide to check in on how well the girls are cleaning their room. So they walk into DJ and Stephanie's room, and they find that the room is ransacked. Furniture is overturned. Clothes and toys are strewn everywhere. Steph says, "We lost something." And after mumbling and trying not to say his name by wiping their hands across their mouths, the girls finally admit that they lost Bubba.
Is this exactly how it went when you lost Bubba? Was this what happened?
Well, yeah. Like, I was mumbling and trying to hide the fact, but I felt like I had to come clean because the guilt was
right.
Yeah.
Your toys were
guilt
everywhere.
was eating me alive.
Things were
I overturned
strewn
furniture.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. All my toys were all over the house.
Yes.
So Jesse is incredulous because, he loves that amphibian. We are going to turn this house upside down until we find that turtle. So despite the fact that the guy's entire future is dependent on cleaning the entire house for the next few hours, they decide to squander that the entire time by looking for the turtle instead. Priorities. Okay.
Right. I mean,
the pet is important. The pet is important to the girls and to Jesse. So
who can mop a floor when there's a missing turtle? You know what I mean?
Exactly. A few hours later, we are in the living room where the whole family meets, and Steph asks, "No Bubba?" Danny says, "No Bubba." The house is even more of a mess. DJ offers to buy Jesse a new turtle, and Steph offers to give him all of her money, $2.58. Aw, that's so sweet.
Still,
the mom.
Yeah, that's about it. $2.58. That's my max.
Well, that might be worth like $5 now these days. Maybe
That's
even
true.
like
With
$7.
inflation, Steph definitely offered up at least $5 to $10 for a turtle.
That's very, very. You could probably buy a turtle for $5 now. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe a tortoise.
Don't you know? Haven't you had to buy a new turtle?
Just kidding, Jody. I'm never gonna live this down. Am I?
We've got turtles in bags.
My name's Laverne Cox. I'm an actress, producer, fashionista, and host of The Laverne Cox Show. You may remember my award-winning first season. I've been pretty busy, but there's always time to talk to incredible guests about important things.
People like me have been screaming for years, we got to watch the Supreme Court. What they're doing is wrong. What they're doing is evil. They will take things away. And I can only hope that Dobbs is that, Pearl Harbor moment.
Girl, you and I both know what it took to just get through the day in New York City and get home in one piece. And so the fact that we're here and what you've achieved and what I've achieved, that's momentous.
It's not just us sitting around complaining about some bills. The only reason that you might think, as Chase said, that we're always miserable is because people are constantly attacking us and we're constantly noticing it.
Listen to The Laverne Cox Show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe and share.
On the best podcast ever with Raven and Miranda, you'll hear, the best podcast ever. Join Raven Simone and her partner Miranda Mayday as they let the Wheel of Words determine the topic of that week's show.
Every episode will spin a wheel of random words from things like animosity to something like zodiac, and whatever it lands on, that's what we're going to talk about for around an hour.
Think we can't do it? Well, then you've never heard us talk.
Each week, Raven and Miranda and celebrity guests like Demi Lovato, Keke Palmer, and Meghan Trainor will spin the fateful wheel, and then the conversation will begin.
Also, we're going to have a ton of amazing guests because you don't want to just hear us two all the time, do you? Yes, you do. And somehow we're going to start with something like Spider and end with, when was your last nervous breakdown?
Listen to the best podcast ever with Raven and Miranda on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to Bad Manners. This is the podcast that takes you inside Britain's stately homes and tells all the tales the guidebooks don't. My name is Tom Horton and I'll be your host. Britain is riddled with big houses, from crumbling castles, massive mansions, and stately piles bigger than Buckingham Palace. As a comedian, I'm not really bothered about the facts and figures, I just want the juicy stuff. So I'm on a mission to find out the frightening, filthy, and downright jaw-dropping stories of these stately homes and the people in them. This podcast ventures deep inside some of Britain's most incredible and outrageous buildings to spill the tea on the scandalous, scary, shocking, and hilarious tales. So if you want to get historically horrid, royally raucous, and Downton dirty, look no further. Listen to Bad Manners on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The moms return from shopping, and they aren't carrying any shopping bags, which is hysterical. And they are shocked at the mess in front of them. Irene says, "My advice, don't clean anymore. Just move."
That is
Danny
my same advice for cleaning, too.
I
If
feel
it just
this
gets too bad, I go,
urge
you know
daily.
what? Just, I can't, let's just, that's it. Just
When it gets
firebomb.
bad enough, I just want to bury myself in a real estate app and look up new
Right.
real estate to
Yeah.
buy, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's a lost cause in this house.
And that house in that state was definitely, that was a lot.
It was bad. Danny tells the moms, "Just a minute, we're having a family problem here." The girls feel bad about losing Bubba, and Danny gives them a parenting pep talk. He says, "You feel bad because you love your Uncle Jesse. I know that losing Bubba was an accident." The guys tell the girls that they aren't mad, and in fact, the guys are there for the girls when they have a problem, the same way that the girls are there for the guys. The moms are silently watching the guys being good dads. "That is so sweet," Claire says. "We're going to have such a great time living here." Danny says, "No, we want another shot at this." Joey suggests that the moms take the girls to the zoo for a few hours and let the guys have one more shot. We cut to a dance number. I mean, this calls for a dance number.
Everything calls for a dance number. In 1987, everything called for a dance number. That was just, it was a requirement. Every few minutes of a film or a TV show was like, we need a montage or a song.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And it really did add some pizzazz. And honestly, the choreography was impressive, being that they just pulled it off, you know?
I loved it.
They knew
loved
the
it.
moves. It was great. Good song,
They knew
too.
all of it. So they're dancing to "I Feel Good" by James Brown. Jesse's dancing with a feather duster. Danny's dancing by whipping a rag above his head in circles. Joey pops up from his alcove wearing a tool belt and using a dustbuster like a microphone and singing while he's strutting. The three men shake their bums to the music, and at the end, at the end of the song, they do the splits.
They basically do like a death drop, which is a very Vogue sort of, they just, I was impressed.
Ouch. I was impressed and in pain just watching it. Like,
I was
now
like, yep,
you weren't in this part of the scene. So do you remember them rehearsing this, or probably not, because you weren't in? I don't know if you were in this part of the scene.
I wasn't in that part of the scene, but I mean, I think we were getting ready to enter, right off stage, off of the front porch there, and I'm sure that we, heard the music and I know I probably did and was paying attention. Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember them singing that song and the splits was impressive.
It's so perfect. The song, the dance moves, the splits, it's all
And
so
look,
perfect.
Look how a turtle can bring a family together.
Right? So the moms and the girls enter carrying their zoo souvenirs, and they exclaim, "It's immaculate." They are so impressed that the house is now spotless. Steph says, "Grandma Irene, does this mean hell is freezing over?" What? Jody Sweeten.
I know. From the beat. See? Look, this
Wow.
it's who I've always been. What can I say?
This is
I
the
was
true
like,
you.
it's the true me. But I loved that line. I thought it was so
You
funny.
did?
Oh yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
How did
as a
Janice
kid,
feel about this line?
I don't know. I mean, I think later on in the show we wouldn't say hell, or maybe it was like something that suddenly again that you couldn't no longer say on television. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hell is freezing over. I thought that as a kid I thought it was the funniest line, and I was like,
It's so
I get
funny.
to say like hell and be like, oh my god, yeah. So
You were so grown up
saying
saying hell.
Yeah, I felt like I was 30.
You basically were. A 30-year-old in the body of a 5-year-old. So the girls dump their souvenirs on the front door stairs, and the men are like, no, put those away in your room. The moms continue to inspect the house, and Joey ushers them into the kitchen and dust busts each person as they walk through the door into the newly sterile environment. Very funny. So now they are in the kitchen, and Jesse has ironed the shirts perfectly. Irene says, "Jesse, you still have your touch." Joey is proud of his clean dishes. You could eat off these dishes. And suddenly, a woman enters the back kitchen door and says, "Sorry, the bank is closed. Can you pay me in cash?" Uh-oh. Busted.
Uh-oh.
Who is this woman? Joey pretends that she's his fiance. And Danny finally just pays her and says, okay, look, we had a little bit of help. But it's the cleaning woman. They hired a cleaning woman to come and do the work for them.
Which then
I don't
begs
know
the
how
question,
I feel about this.
why are they dancing as though they've cleaned the house when nobody else is there to sell this lie to? They're just like,
That's a
look
good
what we
point.
didn't do. You know what I mean? That happened, and I was like, well, then what the hell were you guys doing dancing around with dustbusters and whatnot? Like, that was just you guys congratulating yourselves for having someone else do the work.
That's hysterical.
Still a little
I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I live in sitcom land, and I'm just like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but no, you're right. Why go through the motions if they didn't even clean the house?
Well, and I would get it if the kids and whatever were standing there, but no one was.
No,
there was
no
no
one
one
was
in the house
watching.
when they were having their little cleaning party. Self-congratulations.
I love it.
Yes.
I love these 3 guys so much.
I love these amphibians.
I love these amphibians. Danny promises the moms that things are going to go a lot smoother around there. And Claire puts her arms around the other moms and says, does this mean that you don't need us anymore? The moms give their pouty faces. And Jessie says, come by anytime. Claire says, you may be a little sloppy, but those kids are getting a lot of love. And they all hug. Oh,
hug moment.
DJ enters and says, this is so nice. I wish Bubba was here to share in this. And enters Bubba on a skateboard. Followed by Stephanie.
Followed by Steph.
Who says, I found him.
I love that amphibian.
Amphibian. That's our show.
And that's our
What a great
show.
button.
But I
love that button.
Did Steph put the turtle on the skateboard, or did she find the turtle skateboarding in the backyard? That's my question.
Yeah, which came first? I was wondering that too. I'm like, how did the turtle get on the skateboard? I think it's implied that Stephanie put him on the skateboard to make this grand entrance, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
where
just
did she
wondered.
find him? I guess just in the backyard. That's where my turtle
Yeah, in the
was.
backyard, and she was like, "I'm gonna make an entrance for Bubba." I like it.
I love it.
I love the drama.
It was quite an entrance.
It was great.
And that is a very tolerant turtle/tortoise/amphibian.
Truly, that we all loved. And
Turtles in bags.
Turtles in bags. I've got turtles in bags. Yeah, it was. No one else will find that funny. I'll be like, what are they on about? And we find it hilarious. Yeah.
So yeah, let's say our final thoughts. Like, what did you think overall about this lovely episode?
You know, I thought overall, it's interesting to go back and watch these episodes where some of the characters, it's so early in the show. Like I said, we're finding Danny not a clean freak.
Mm-hmm.
It's
weird.
part of his personality has always been that Danny Tanner is a clean freak. And what we see here is he wasn't. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Danny Tanner actually was flailing and kind of didn't have it organized and didn't really know what was going on and became that person. So it's actually kind of fun to go back and watch it and be like, oh, some of these characters and people and, like Jesse being so, not Mr. Soft and Smushy guy and, like whatever, and then becoming such a family guy and having his kids and, and all these things that, now we know are coming in the run of the show, but
right,
it's cool to go back and watch those and be like, oh yeah, the pre How Rude days, the pre Danny Tanner cleaning days, the pre Kimmy Gibbler all the time, like just all of these things.
Yeah.
It's fun to see where the characters started and really how this family came together, all over a turtle. Though, really,
All
was
over a turtle.
all because of a turtle. Yep.
Well, I think after living through the series for 8 full seasons, you just take for granted these character traits.
Right.
But you're right. Getting to go back and see the origin of all of this is really, really cool. Because we haven't thought about this in 36, 37 years.
To be honest, I never considered the fact that Danny wasn't... I mean, he always was sort of like kind of the neatest of the guys. But what we see here is like in these first few episodes... that Danny's really in over his head. Doesn't know how to like take the kid out without 9,000 things. It's kind of a mess. Doesn't know how to like delegate things. All of this stuff that is just so not the Danny Tanner and the Tanner household that we kind of come to know. It's really fun to watch the guys be these kind of bumbling idiots in the beginning.
It's funny. It's hysterical, and I can forgive the gendered norms and stuff just because it's fun. It's funny.
Look,
it's
the 80s. It's the 80s. This was, this is why we were like, hey, look where we're at now. So, there's not, we're not relying on our moms to take care of adult men anymore. Mostly,
yes. And if the guys had it together, we'd have no plot line. If the guys knew how to parent and clean and do everything, we'd have no show.
If they knew what they were doing, it wouldn't be funny, and there would be no growth, and there would be no, there would be no moments of coming together, and there would be no turtles in bags.
No turtles in bags. Oh,
Nope.
I love it. I love that. I love that amphibian so much. And I'm glad he was found. I'm glad my own turtle, Franklin, was found.
I'm glad your own turtle ended in much the same way, minus the skateboard, which I apologize. I was out of town. I couldn't get to that. But next time.
How rude. Next time you need to be here.
Next time, I promise I'll fully recreate the episode for you.
Thank you. I appreciate the commitment. So everybody, that's our show for the week.
Yeah.
Those are our turtles and bags.
Yep. And make sure and follow us on Instagram at How Rude Podcast. You can also email us at howrudepodcast@gmail.com. Make sure and leave us comments, subscribe to the podcast. Is there any other stuff to add? Any other promo stuff to add?
No, just turtles and bags.
That's it. Bubba, should have his own Instagram. I really feel like it. He's going to be the longest living cast member. You do know this, right?
For sure. Oh yeah,
They
they live
live
for
like
hundreds of years.
Yeah. That turtle's going to have its own reboot show in like 4 iterations.
Can somebody out there, some diehard fan, please track down Bubba the turtle and let us know, where does he live? What's he
been
doing
up
these
to?
days?
Right.
What's he been up to? Right.
Living a life of leisure. I love that amphibian. All right. And I love you, AB. And I love this show.
I love you, Jody.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of How Rude, Tanneritos.
Bye.
Hello, this is Laverne Cox. I'm an actress, producer, and host of The Laverne Cox Show. Do you like your tea with lemon or honey? History-making Broadway performer Alex Newell.
When I sing, the Holy Ghost shows up. That's my ministry, and I know that well about me.
That's the tea, honey. Whoever it is, you can bet we get into it. My guest and I, we go there every single time. I can't help it. Listen to The Laverne Cox Show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
The Last Archive is a show about the history of truth in America. Each episode, we tell a story about people coming up with some new way of understanding the world. Histories of science, technology, democracy. This season, we've got stories on everything from mid-century songwriting machines to social network theory, and plenty of mad inventors.
Of course I go, oh my God.
Well, it's Dr. Frankenstein's monster, isn't it?
Listen to The Last Archive on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug, ignored a leaky faucet, pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look like that? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects, but there's an easier way. Thumbtack is the app that makes it easier to care for your home. Pull out your phone, and in just a few taps, search, chat, and book highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Download Thumbtack and start caring for your home the easier way.